Welcome to Raptorisms over Crystalis, episode 15. Where we last left off, I had just gotten out of the town of Swan, so now we're going to head into the neighboring town of Goa. There's nothing we can do here right now, but this place is really close, and simply by setting foot in here, it gets added to our teleport spell, so now we can teleport here anytime we want. The Emperor is the worst. I won't forgive those who speak ill of him. This lady's a little confused. The Emperor is looking for a tower which floats high in the sky. I hear there's a tower with enough power to destroy the world. I heard that Dragonia's best 4 warriors left for Chiron. The wise men will die for sure. Well, that's bad news. And I think we've spoken to almost everyone in town, but there is someone hiding out back here. And it's Kensu. Raptor, I told you to go to Mount Hydra. Go southwest from here and don't stray. You got it, Kensu. Let's head over to Mount Hydra, and while we're doing that, let's talk about the latest national holiday in the United States, Juneteenth. Unlike most Americans, including most black Americans, I actually knew about Juneteenth before George Floyd was killed. I'd first heard about Juneteenth in the summer after my first year of college, when I worked a summer job at one of those Keep Kids Off the Streets programs. It was run by an old black lady who really knew her black history, and when Juneteenth came around, we all had a little celebration for it. Juneteenth celebrates the date that an official message from the government finally reached Texas stating that slavery was abolished. And don't get me wrong, that is absolutely something worth celebrating, and even if you don't celebrate it, I'm not one to argue about getting a day off, but still, I am opposed to this being a national holiday because I believe it is inherently regional, and most people outside of that region hadn't even heard of it until last year. Anyway, we're getting close to Chiron right now, so let's check in with the game. As we can see, there's a little gate being guarded, and the guards are closing in. This is Chiron Fort. I can't let strange people in. Well, that shouldn't be a problem, because we just got the spell of change, which allows us to change into different characters. Let's try using that and see if we can change into a character who lives in Chiron so they'll let us in. Well, let's see the list here, and the first one on the list is Stom. That's probably going to work since Stom is always hanging around the wise men, so let's approach the guards once again. Hello, Stom, please enter. Hello, Stom, please enter. So let's head right in as Stom. This is Chiron. People come here to train to be wise men and hide out from Dragonia as well, but even this place isn't safe anymore. In fact, we heard back in Swan and Goa that Dragonian soldiers are coming here to attack. Akahana, hello, how are you? So it looks like he can't tell the difference. Oh, Stom, don't stare at me. What has Stom been up to? On the way here, I lost my wife and children. That's pretty sad. And it looks like Tornell's over here training some of these soldiers. You are vain to change yourself in front of me. Looks like at least the wise men can see right through our change spell. And that's Asina right there. We can see through your disguise, okay. Ooh, give me water. So it looks like there are a lot of injured soldiers over here. And now it's Stom himself. You do that very well. It's as if I was looking in a mirror. Well, thanks, Stom. And right past Stom should be the last building in town, so let's take off our change spell and try talking to everyone once again in our normal form, because we might get different messages. First, let's head down into those buildings with the wise men Asina and Tornell. Raptor, Zebu is waiting for you in the back of the temple. Please see him immediately. Okay, and Tornell's probably going to say something similar, but let's just check with him once to make sure. Good, you finally made it. We're training these people here. We have a lack of men and we're having trouble. Because of that armor, we're losing the battle. Our medical staff can't keep up with the wounded. Alright, so let's just head back to the temple and see what Zebu has to say. Great, you made it this far. Besides the 3 swords you now possess, the most powerful, the Sword of Thunder, is in the Cave of Styx. Evil spirits keep us from invading there. Watch yourself. The gate to Styx is at the top of Mount Hydra. Take this key and go. You now have the key to Styx. So let's head right over there and try to get the Sword of Thunder. The people training here are fools. I'm worried. So Stom also has something new to say if you talk to him without using change. This armor shop might have something good. Let's see. The ceramic suit, sacred shield. I don't have enough money for any of these right now, so let's first get the Sword of Thunder and then come back here to buy armor. One more thing I want to point out is that there is a good shop next door, and this is only one of 2 places where you can actually buy a magic ring. But it is $800, it is fairly expensive. It's still one of the most useful items in the game, especially as far as disposable items go, so if you're having trouble with the game, this is one good place to stock up on magic rings, which can really help you out during long dungeons and boss battles. Before heading out, let's stop by the inn because we are low on magic points, and after that we'll work our way up Mount Hydra to the Sword of Thunder. As usual, when we're looking for a new sword, that new sword is going to be extremely powerful in that area, but all the other swords are going to be relatively weak. Why try to kill an enemy with 5 or 6 shots with the Sword of Water when once we get the Sword of Thunder, it might just take 1 or 2 shots? Anyway, let's get back to talking about Juneteenth. As I was saying, it is a holiday of regional significance. It's not the date of the Emancipation Proclamation, which is when Abraham Lincoln declared the end of slavery, and it's not the date of the adoption of the 13th Amendment, which is when slavery was officially made illegal across the United States. Juneteenth was unique to Texas because Texas was the westernmost Confederate state. In those days, it took time for messages to get out there, and federal enforcement was relatively difficult that far west, so slavery continued to exist for months after the Civil War ended. The Juneteenth order finally put an end to that, but it wasn't the end of slavery across the entire nation, just the former Confederate states. This is because the Emancipation Proclamation only applied to Confederate states. Some slave states, like Kentucky and Missouri, didn't join the Confederacy. Missouri had its own vote to abolish slavery, but Kentucky held out until the passage of the 13th Amendment. Therefore, it is historically incorrect to say that Juneteenth marked the end of slavery in the United States. It's more accurate to say that Juneteenth is simply a date when government ineptitude in enforcing the abolishment of slavery was finally corrected. This is definitely something worth celebrating if you have roots in Texas, or I guess if you're a history buff, but otherwise it doesn't hold national significance. The abolishment of slavery in general is definitely something that holds national significance, but what date should you attach to that? Nobody knows the date of the Emancipation Proclamation, and nobody knows the date of the passage of the 13th Amendment. At least some people were celebrating Juneteenth already, so why not just give it the Juneteenth? I say, wait and see if it catches on before making it a national holiday. One of the reasons for creating national holidays is that if so many people are going to be celebrating it nationwide, you may as well give them all the day off. Many Americans are only now hearing about Juneteenth for the first time, and they have no idea how to celebrate it. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Throw a barbecue? Buy each other presents? Go to church? If enough people around the nation decide they want to celebrate it, and they do so in a way that would conflict with normal work hours, then sure, give them a national holiday. Otherwise, you can treat it the way that most states have already been treating Juneteenth. Have it listed as an official holiday that people can freely take off if they want to. Otherwise, Juneteenth is just going to become another President's Day. You know, a national holiday not known for the way people celebrate it, but for its low prices on used cars and or mattresses. Now, like I said at the top, I'm not going to complain too much about getting the day off. The problem is that with every new national holiday, it's harder to get another new national holiday, and there are other holidays I would prioritize over Juneteenth. For example, I would really like to see national holidays for Halloween and Election Day. Don't get me wrong, Halloween is by no means as important as the end of slavery, but I'm not choosing Halloween because of its meaning. I'm choosing it because, according to Wikipedia, it is the 7th most widely celebrated holiday in the United States, with about 65% participation. If over half the people in your country are celebrating a holiday, you may as well give them the day off. It's the same thing with Election Day. I would certainly hope that at least 50% of the population wants to vote. It's not uncommon to see people being unable to vote because of work obligations, so why not give them the day off? Juneteenth, on the other hand, feels like it's from an episode of The Simpsons where someone's going through the town archives and discovers, hey, there's actually a holiday here from 150 years ago. Let's all figure out how to celebrate it now, and hilarity may ensue. Now let's take a look back in at the game, and we should be closing in on the Sword of Thunder. Now the enemies in this dungeon are very difficult, that's one of the reasons why we've been avoiding fights, but we're gonna get rewarded now that we've received the Sword of Thunder, because we're gonna be teleported right out of here. Raptor, you finally found the Sword of Thunder. You've done a fine job, Raptor. The Grand Poobah Azteca awaits you. We will lead you to the temple. I was waiting for you. A lot has happened in the past 100 years. You and Messiah went into sleep to watch for the end of the world. You each had specific powers that could combat any future evil. Raptor, hurry to Messiah. We tried, through our powers, to lead the people towards a good direction. But Dragon used this power wrongly and built an invading nation. Dragon hid the fact of who he was and lured our best 4 warriors into his realm of darkness. Azteca is not sure of the extent of Messiah's power, but Emperor Dragon is trying to harness it to extend his realm of influence. Your lives were mentioned to the people as legends to give them hope. If you don't destroy Dragonia, all will live in despair. I wish for your safety. Be careful. Now the real battle begins. Raptor, hurry to Messiah. And that's as far as we'll go in today's episode. Next time around, we're gonna put on our long-awaited Sword of Thunder and kick some serious ass.